No, four.
Yeah, it was a lot, and it was so much. Even if
Series.
we
Each we have
could
three.
only do like
Play
2 at a
three
time,
series,
and each required like 15
and
minutes.
Okay, we're live.
best of three. We're live.
So engaged in watching everyone else.
I'd like to call this meeting to order. We can stand up and pledge the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll take roll call. Counselor Kane?
Here.
Counselor Fellows? Oh,
You got a blank screen?
we'll get him on.
Turn 'em on.
Counselor Keller?
Here.
Counselor Larochelle?
Here.
Counselor Lunt?
Here.
Counselor Moore?
Here.
Counselor Robichaud?
Yeah.
And I did speak with Counselor Fellows. He'll be joining during the executive session
Okay.
for you. Okay.
Next item.
Order 2023-9 to go into executive session per 1 MRSA Section 4056C, Economic Development, and Order 2023-9A to go into executive session per 1 MRSA Section 4056A, Personnel Matters.
I make a motion.
So motion. Is there a second?
Second.
This first motion, 2023-9, will be the Economic Development.
We're going to do these separately, obviously.
You're going to go into them separately because you're going to vote on them separately if you vote. So there'll
Okay.
be two separate, because we have two executive sessions for
Okay.
two different statute reasons.
Okay.
So I'll need, Counselor Kane, will you be abstaining from the executive session for economic development?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
She doesn't know what it is,
I don't know what
probably.
it is. So.
Does it have to do with the,
It is the
Main
grant.
Street grant?
Yeah.
the-
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
So we'll need somebody else for a second on it.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you.
And,
So we have roll call vote for everything.
okay.
All in favor? And we'll do roll call.
Do we need to roll call if there's no one else present away?
All votes have to be roll call if we're, well, there's no remote
Not
right
present.
now.
He's not remote yet, so I
Okay.
think we can
So
just
do
go
a
ahead.
show of hands then?
Just,
Just go in.
it doesn't have to be roll call, it can just be, you can ask for
All
all
in
in
favor?
favor.
Opposed?
All right, and vote 2023-9A, executive session per 1 MRSA Section 4056A, Personnel Matters.
I make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Okay,
And should I abstain now?
you can abstain during the executive session if you decide to
Okay.
do so. All right, so I'll turn off.
Yes.
Just for the point of order for the listening dot, that vote went 501 first. I don't think you actually read that into the order.
It's,
The abstention, you mean?
I put,
Just for the record, get Mrs. Kane on the record for the abstention.
thank you.
Thank you.
The order passed, vote 501 with one abstention.
Okay.
I did have it written down, I just didn't say it out loud, so thank you. All right, I'll turn off the camera for you.
Sorry, it's a habit.
It's not a bad habit.
No problem.
We, Mr. Chair,
Sir?
sir, could we actually,
Okay, we're on the record?
we are?
All right. I believe at our last meeting, we decided to have a vote to come out of executive session.
I would make a motion that we come out of executive session.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
We have to have a
We
roll
have to do a
call
roll
vote.
call. Yep.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, is there any chance I might get to see you guys?
Oh,
No.
oh, let's see. Did I get it? Oh, hang on. There we go. Can you see us? Okay, great. Sorry about that, Dawn. All right, and who seconded? I'm sorry.
Mark.
Mark? All right. Counselor Kane?
Yes.
Counselor Fellows?
Yes.
Counselor Keller?
Yes.
Counselor Larichelle?
Yes.
Counselor Lunt?
Yes.
Counselor Moore?
Aye.
Counselor Robichaud?
Yes.
7 yeas, 0 nays. Order pass, vote 7-0. And that's 7 o'clock. All right.
Wow.
Wow.
Next item.
All right. Next item is good news and recognition. The Lisbon Town Council annually recognizes employees for their years of service and presents employees with certificates in appreciation. Mr. Chair, would you like to come?
Very good.
I know a couple of people aren't here, and some folks, I'm going to read a list of some folks I know who aren't here. We're going to give their certificates to their department heads so that they can be presented with them. We have Seth Tapley, who's a camp counselor for Parks and Rec, Emma Tapley, Anna Willie, both also camp counselors, and Michelle Lehman at the after-school program. So the first 5-year service award that we'll present is Christine McFadden, part-time administrative assistant with the police department. And the chief can give it to her. Mm-hmm. And then also a 5-year service award goes to Kathy Roy, Communications Center dispatcher. These 5-year service awards are in grateful recognition for your enduring commitment.
I was going to say, no pictures?
They do.
Face.
Okay. Next, and I'll take that one. Next, we have Glenn Brushwine, a reserve officer with the police department. This is a 10-year service award. And I don't think we have any firefighters with us this evening, but just to recognize them, we have DJ Judd and Jared Blake, both 10-year service awards for their service as call firefighters. Next, I'm going to read this one because it's a 15-year service award. This certificate is in recognition of your outstanding work and innovative ideas, and this actually goes to Counselor Larichelle. We have two folks who also have 15-year service awards who aren't able to be here with us, but Lynn Strout is a senior coordinator at Parks and Rec, and Andrea Tapley is the police administrative assistant, and they've both served diligently. We have, and Andrea Tapley, yep. Yes. The next award is for 20 years of service. This certificate is awarded to a patrol officer and school resource officer at the police department in recognition of her ongoing contributions and continued work as a leader, strengthening our workplace and community. This goes to Renee Bernard. The next one is this person is not able to be here, but I'm very excited. This is a person from our clerk's department, and the clerk's office recognizes 25 years of service from Gwen Michelle as an elections clerk and assistant registrar of voters. She is always there when we need her, so we're recognizing her for that. This next award is awarded in recognition of outstanding dedication to the town of Lisbon. And we give this as a thank you for your time and your efforts. This person has really made a difference for Lisbon in so many ways. And we'd like to thank Diane Netto for her 35 years of service. Thank you, Diane.
My pleasure, and it's an honor.
Some people might be wondering why we asked a different counselor to give Diane her award. Earlier today, Counselor Keller emailed me a picture of the teeny tiny ad that appeared in the newspaper that somebody applied to be the library director in 1986. And we're very grateful that she made that application.
And I'm
Joe
so
Jean.
happy to give you the award.
Joe Jean
What a
Keller.
terrific.
You were the president of the Lisbon Falls Community Library Association at the
Yes,
time.
at that time.
So your name was on that ad. That was really neat. So, thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Long time serving.
Congratulations.
The next item is public hearings.
Could I interject?
Yes?
We're going to continue with our meeting, so anybody wants to leave now, I mean, you're welcome to, or you can stay. I know you don't want to sit with your certificate and listen to this. But give you a chance so it's not awkward when you're like, oh, should I leave? Should I? Take care. Renee, Glenn. See you, Glenn.
So for public hearings, once the chair opens the public hearing, those present who wish to speak may approach the lectern to address the council chair. Please use the microphone and state your name for the record. First hearing, special entertainment permit for Olive Pit Brewing Company.
I'll open that hearing if anybody wants to speak on this. Seeing none, I'll close the hearing.
Next hearing is medical marijuana retail store license for BBB Pharmaceuticals.
I'll open that public hearing. Seeing no interest, I will close that hearing.
The next item is a special entertainment permit for the Railroad Restaurant and Pub.
I'll open that public hearing. Seeing no interest, I will close the hearing.
And the final hearing is for the amendments to Chapter 70 zoning ordinance, Section 70-614, the building and property maintenance standards.
I'll open that public hearing. No,
That's actually a different one. Yep.
no interest on that. I will close that hearing.
Next item is audience participation and response for agenda items. At this time, those in the audience who wish to speak may approach the lectern to address items or issues that are on the agenda. Please use the microphone and state your name for the record.
Anybody want to address any of the agenda items? You're welcome to come up. Seeing none, I will close our audience participation and response.
Next item is the consent agenda. Consent agenda items are considered routine and will be considered for adoption by one motion with no separate discussion unless a counselor requests an item be removed. Any counselor wishing to remove an item may do so now.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to separate item F from the consent agenda to vote separately, as I'll need to recuse myself from that vote.
Okay.
G?
G.
I've got F on mine.
It's F on mine.
It's
Yeah,
on
we just
mine.
changed it.
Oh,
You're looking at the online version, but, yep. So we separated it so that it could be, a separate vote. So it'll be considered item G. But that, you're correct, that is the right item. All right, so
Confused there, but yes.
So Councilor Kane is,
so she's removed it, so it'll be a separate
Removed.
vote from the rest of the consent agenda.
okay.
So, Order 2023-10 is to approve the municipal accounts payable warrants in the amount of $351,509.38. the municipal payroll warrants in the amount of $186,202.48, the school accounts payable warrants in the amount of $135,175.03, and the school payroll warrants in the amount of $392,716.59. Also, the special entertainment permit for Railroad Restaurant and Pub, and the medical marijuana license for BBB Pharmaceuticals.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it. Voice
All
vote.
right. All right. So, Counselor Kane is abstained.
No.
Oh, no, you'll be
Just
in on
on-
this one.
just
I'm
on
sorry.
G.
Next one you'll abstain from.
Not yet.
Yeah,
Just
I know.
on G.
So, we have Counselor Kane,
Yes.
Counselor Fellows,
Yes.
Counselor Keller,
Yes.
Counselor Robichaud,
Yes.
Counselor Moore,
Aye.
Counselor Lunt,
Yes.
Counselor LaRochelle.
Yes.
We have 7 yeas and 0 nays. The order passed, vote 7-0.
Next
So
item.
the next item will be the item we removed from the consent agenda to vote separately. That's the special entertainment permit for Olive Pit Brewing Company. And Counselor Kane has abstained for that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second. Those in favor?
Oh, we'll go through this roll call. Counselor Robichaud,
Yes.
Counselor Moore,
Aye.
Counselor Fellows,
Yes.
Counselor Keller,
Yes.
Counselor Lunt,
Yes.
Counselor LaRochelle.
Yes.
We have 6 yeas, 0 nays, 1 abstention. Order passed, 601. Next item, council orders, resolutions, and ordinances. Order 2023-11 is to approve town office hours.
So before I got here, I guess during COVID you had modified your office hours to allow staff to clean and open later and close earlier to get their workstations prepared. We're at a point now where we can restore regular office hours. I've solicited feedback from department heads and the community. I put out a Survey Monkey. We got about 108 responses, and overwhelmingly around 62% of them said they would benefit from some evening hours. So I'm recommending we return to an 8:30 to 4:30 Monday through Friday schedule. First Tuesday we would be open till 6:30, and first Friday we would close at 2, just to allow folks to get business done after hours. It'd be something I'll continually evaluate. So if we need to change, we'll come back to council. Either if we need to modify, add more hours, or it's not working, we're not getting the foot traffic, we'll reassess. And this would be effective February 1st.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Second. Tried.
All right. Counselor Moore,
Aye.
Counselor LaRochelle,
Yes.
Counselor Lunt,
Yes.
Counselor Keller,
Yes.
Counselor Fellows,
Yes.
Counselor Robichaud,
Yes.
Counselor Kane.
Yes.
We have 7 yeas, 0 nays. Order passed. Vote 7-0. Next item, Order 2023-12, to approve Warumbo Waterfront Memorandum of Understanding.
I'll make a motion for discussion.
I'll second.
We have to vote.
Not
Or
till
we
after we
discussing?
discuss.
We're discussing. Okay.
Don wants to talk about it.
I guess.
Is anybody explaining or?
Oh, I thought you were going to kick it off, but that's fine. So back,
Well, I can. The only thing, I was just gonna say, I don't see anything that I'm opposed to in there. I just see a couple of places where there's some awkward wording that I would change, but that's grammar stuff, not substance.
let's see if I can get a refund from the attorney then. So back over the summer, the council had discussed how to best use the space at the riverfront. You had voted to, use it as an event space to help the downtown and create more of a placemaking opportunity for the community. We put out an RFQ to solicit responses for partnership organizations to help us with that effort. We have selected from that RFQ process the Positive Change Lisbon Group. This is the MOU that was drafted between us and PCL. Went through several attorney reviews, but the intent is to, essentially lease that space to PCL and partner with them for events and kind of reassess in the next 3 years our wins and losses, and kind of hopefully have a very, prosperous and, fun place for the community to enjoy and people from outside Lisbon. So I'll let Christine or Len kind of want to speak to it.
First off, as he said, we did go back and forth.
Could you give us your name and address, sir?
Oh, I apologize. My name is Len Lednam. I am representing Positive Change Lisbon. As Glenn said, we did go back and forth on a couple of things, just kind of, clarifying certain things. I can tell you that we are already beating people away with a bat. There are many, many people in our community and surrounding communities, even as far as Portland and South, that are very excited about the opportunity to bring events to this property. It's not going to become Disneyland tomorrow, but we have such a great opportunity, and just the word of mouth, the press releases and things like that have already created the needed buzz to make this very successful, as a partnership.
Good. That's good news.
I knew a day off.
Good news. Any other discussion?
I have a question for Len. I know last time we talked, we'd mentioned the idea of a landscape architect or someone doing a design for this property.
So we have some rough sketches right now. I'm kind of waiting to figure out exactly how everything is going to go with the lighting and all of that. We have a couple different ideas that we want to do now, as far as before the loam is put down and all of those things. And we're talking about different locations on the property to put electricity. So envision, a Saturday afternoon there, and more towards the Frank side, there's something going on. There's a Maker's Fair, but then you've got the whole rest of the property. We feel that there's many times we'll be able to have multiple events there, so we want to prepare now for that. The idea is to lay the groundwork so that, sure, we may not have power everywhere tomorrow, but next year, say again, we've got something going on one side and a wedding's happening on the other. We'll be able to use this property efficiently, effectively, and as much as we possibly can.
Okay. Yeah, I'd just like to see those plans.
I'm sorry. I like to ramble.
Yeah.
But yes, as soon as those are done, I will gladly come present them on the fancy screen, and we'll go over, and obviously any suggestions are more than welcome. This is a partnership, and that is one thing that I hope to stress, that, we want your opinion. If you've got an idea, I'd like to hear it. That way we can make this as successful as possible. If it is, we all win, right?
Right. Very good.
I would just add, the group that gave us the $40,000 to returf and resod that area reached out today and asked, what other projects we have in the pipeline. So if you start looking at landscape architecture, if I recall, anything that will retain floodwater or is like a native shrub, they may also include as part of that grant. So
awesome.
If we can piggyback on that,
absolutely.
Mr. Chair, also, I'd like to add something if I could. I think it's important for everybody to understand also is that it's a fairly large parcel, and one of the original purposes of the town purchasing the property is to have additional parking for the downtown, and that's still going to remain intact. So, what people see driving in initially, the road frontage, the visuals, the parking lot, the crosswalk, those are all still going to be retained by the town. I know Lisbon Development Committee, I believe, has been working on the idea of that initial entrance design and the number one goal of getting a nice, safe sidewalk, a crosswalk, right? And having enough parking to actually, do what we need to do to supplement what the downtown needs. So it isn't the piece of the property that actually is being really discussed is more the lawn area in the rear, not so much front parking. Just want to make sure everybody's aware of that, because everybody kind of puts it as one piece of property, and it is, but the town still has a huge benefit from the parking and what's happening.
Very good.
Chair?
Sir.
Mr. Chair? Hello?
Sir, go ahead. Go ahead, yes.
I was going to say that at the last LDC meeting, Ross asked the LDC if they wanted to be in on the design of the parking lot only. And he drew kind of a sketch of how it would be divided between parking lot and the entertainment area. I don't know if that's been officially drawn or not, but that's what he did. And the other point I would make is, I don't know who wrote this, but if you guys would entertain me briefly, I would like to change just a couple of words here and there, if you'll let me, or let me bring it up.
Go for it, Don.
Okay, under safety, number 5, safety, a crossing guard to maintain safe crossing 196 between Frank's and the municipal parking lot. I just thought it'd be better to say the end of Main Street as a municipal parking lot rather than a name of a business. That's one section. The second one was in 7, which follows that. It says, town event dates shall be provided to the Friends upon execution of this agreement, and in subsequent year dates will be provided by November 1st of the previous year. Huh? It'd be, rather than say the previous year, wouldn't it be better to say the next program year? Just a thought.
It's technically the previous year because it would be an event of, the wording is wonky. But, for example, if they wanted, for Moxie Fest in 24, they have to let us know.
Got it. And the last one is just a typo. Way back on number 18, 2/3 of the way down on the right side, it says the Friends will provide the city and therefore maintain. So rather than city, it's town.
What paragraph was that?
18.
18, way down about 2/3, where it says prior to the execution of this MOU, the Friends will provide the city. I think it meant to be town.
Got it.
Chair, do these actually represent significant changes that we can just vote on the original and actually have those changes made? I guess that was the question.
I don't think they're,
These aren't substantive
Substantial
changes.
changes.
So we can vote as written
You
and
can
as
vote
approved.
for, yes, you can, you don't have to change your motion, and we'll just make sure we change the wording. And if you want, we can say, approve Warumbo Waterfront MOU with the Friends of Warumbo with
And not that they're big deals.
clarification.
Yeah, I would just want to get clarifications. We did actually spend money at legal to actually have this presented, so it'd be nice to have them just make sure that we're not making modifications that make any significant changes. I don't feel they are, but I would assume that.
No, I think all of these are just clarify what the intent of the MOU is.
Thank you.
Would you like to call for a vote, Mr. Chair?
yes, let's call for a vote.
All right. Councillor Fellows?
Yes.
Councillor LaRochelle?
Yes.
Councillor Moore?
Aye.
Councillor Kane?
Yes.
Councillor Robichaud?
Yes.
Councillor Keller?
Yes.
Councillor Lunt?
Yes.
7 yeas, 0 nays. Order passed, vote 7-0. Next item is Order 2023-13, to approve the Revolving Loan Funds Committee's recommendations for the recipients of the Main Street grant.
Now to make a motion to approve, as written.
Mr. Chair, I need to recuse myself from this item.
Granted.
I need to abstain.
Granted. Is there any discussion? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Any discussion? All right, ready for a vote?
All right. Councillor Fellows?
Yes.
Counselor Larichelle,
Yes.
Counselor Lunt,
Yes.
Counselor Moore,
Aye.
Counselor Robichaud.
Yes.
We have 5 yeas, 0 nays, 2 abstentions. Order passed, 502. Next item, Order 2023-14, amendments to Chapter 70 zoning ordinance, Section 70-614, Building and Property Maintenance Standards. This is a second reading.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we're ready for a vote.
Counselor Robichaud,
Yes.
Counselor Moore,
Aye.
Counselor Lunt,
Yes.
Counselor Larichelle,
Yes.
Counselor Keller,
Yes.
Counselor Fellows,
Yes.
Counselor Kane.
Yes.
7 yeas, 0 nays. Order passed. Vote 7-0.
Next item.
Next item is other business. First, Lisbon Development Committee presentation, abandoned and vacant property. We have Angie Demorse, who's the chair of that committee.
I'm Angie Demorse. I live at 6 Pleasant Street in the Falls, and I'm the chair of the Lisbon Development Committee. It says presentation, so I don't know how much of a presentation this is, but it's more of a suggestion to Town Council based on recent conversations with LDC. And Ross, unfortunately, is not here tonight. He does have some backup information to present at a later time, but I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in here. So last fall, the Lisbon Development Committee started discussing and researching what kinds of ordinances and policies are in place here in town to address the issue of abandoned, vacant, or blighted properties throughout the town, primarily focusing on areas of commercial development. Over the course of 5 months, the group discovered, through research and presentations, including some information brought to us by Mark Stombach, that while Lisbon does not have a formal policy regarding the management of blighted buildings, there are no regularly scheduled inspections due to the lack of time and personnel. Additionally, Lisbon's current policy does not include a fee or a fine structure to discourage owners from allowing their properties from falling into disrepair. The group discovered that other municipalities, specifically Sanford and Rumford, who Ross gained information from, they both have fee structures with fines which incrementally increase over time if the owner of the property in question does not take appropriate action. So therefore, the Lisbon Development Committee would like to request that staff support from the Economic Community Development Director and Codes Enforcement Office and support offices be assigned to create an abandoned property registry and a fee system for council review and implementation as needed. Part of our research was we discovered that there, being a very technological age that we live in, as you can imagine, there are services available out there that will do all of this online, and I know that Glenn has had some experience previously with, I think it's called ProChamps. It's an online based service out of Jersey, I believe, right?
Florida, I believe.
Florida,
yeah.
okay.
But they do a lot of work in the Northeast.
Thank
Yeah.
you. These services are provided free to the town, and the company makes their money off of the fees that they collect. So they're very much, there's that component there that, the more they collect, the more they make. So it's the first step in establishing any sort of an agreement with this type of company would be to either, and I apologize, I'm not quite clear whether we'd have to redo our current ordinance or come up with an entirely new ordinance. But they would also come up with a registration platform, and it's a cloud-based platform as well, so everything is done via the internet. So we've also asked Ross, the committee has also asked Ross to come up with another choice as well, along with this ProChamps choice, just following due diligence. So
Motion for discussion?
Second?
Okay.
The,
Yeah, we don't need a motion because it's just other business.
okay, we're not going to actually take a vote on tonight, or,
I don't think the council has to,
I think we're also just requesting an order to direct
Okay.
staff to look into a recommendation for
I wasn't
council.
sure if you actually wanted an official vote on that to actually make that recommendation up. But either way, it's all good. I'd just add, I think it's been some really good discussion, and I don't think anybody has to drive too far from town to see things that really haven't happened in certain locations where anything we can do to encourage that, and usually that's done by some type of fine or some type of financial way. My recommendation was going to be is if we do actually sell money put aside for planning services, and this may be a good opportunity to maybe use some of those to actually help our staff to actually maybe modify one of the ordinances, right? Because we do have quite a bit on the books, as we just updated one tonight.
Yeah.
You know, maybe something could just be added in there versus the idea of rewriting a whole different section. But again, that's just a recommendation. I know, working with our town staff, if we can actually use anything, monies that we have in other professional organizations that actually help us direct that would be great.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I would also suggest that you reach out to the planning board, because I know they've had some discussions of the same thing, and, as Brent said, they have some money there for development for their staff, and I know the chair of the planning board, Bill Cool, has said he's had issues with similar abandoned property issues, and he wants those tools there. So I think if you guys could coordinate with the planning board, you could really, get it done well there with the staff too.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I know Bill very well, so yeah,
Okay.
I'll reach out to him. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Don?
I'm thinking, just to myself here, that it might be a good idea for the council to commit to asking staff or to look into the development of such a process or ordinance. And I know we don't have to vote on it, but I would make that motion that we commit to proceed in this direction so that staff knows that they have a responsibility to do something and to report back.
Is that a motion?
It was.
Is there a second?
we technically already have a motion on the floor
Oh,
We do?
because Fern made a motion and Ray.
for discussion?
Yeah, and Ray seconded.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize that.
But I think
I
that
don't know
was the
what we're-
theory of the motion, was the idea to just make sure we dedicated to actually make sure that was well recorded, that the council actually wanted that to move forward, that's all. And I think we have management in place
So-
to figure out how to make that work.
Yeah, I think it's the same motion.
Yes.
Yeah. So so if I can clarify your motion to,
Sure you'll do that well.
okay, for council to support the idea of directing staff and management to support the LDC in their efforts.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Exactly how I mentioned it. Yes.
Okay.
All in favor?
It'd be a roll call, right?
Yep.
Yes, it will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor LaRochelle,
Yes.
Councillor Fellows,
Most definitely.
Councillor Robichaud,
Yes.
Councillor Lunt,
Yes.
Councillor Keller,
Yes.
Councillor Kane,
Yes.
Councillor Moore.
Aye.
7 yeas, 0 nays. Order passed. Vote 7-0.
Next item.
Okay. Council committee reports.
School committee. Councilor Larissel.
Actually, this is
Not right.
an old list, so they have actually been changed.
I apologize for
that's
that.
fine.
Yeah,
That's good.
I realized that as I was
I don't know
reading
who to
this.
ask. I don't know who to ask then.
Mark and I. And there's nothing to report. There hasn't been a meeting since our last meeting.
Okay. You can read the next one because I don't know if this is right.
The
I
planning
know
board.
mine, but I don't know the other ones.
The planning board,
Still Mr. Don Fellows.
I think that's still, that's still Councillor Fellows.
Last meeting of the planning board was the 12th, the next the 26th. they did the second reading of the sign ordinance, which we've been out there for quite some time, so it should be referred to the council for our next meeting for first reading. Several other applications. River Driver was approved for their manufacturing, and let's see. I can't read my own writing, so there you go. And the last part of the case was Jason Smith's new application for medical marijuana grow operation. That case was accepted as complete, but there's probably going to be more discussion about how things look. And the planning board, to mention the planner efforts, would like to revisit ROS 1 and 2 with the planner in a potential in an upcoming work session sometime. And they didn't have a definite date on it. That's what I have for that.
Lisbon Development Committee.
I haven't had a chance to attend their meetings yet, but I hope to get there soon.
If I could, I did attend the meeting of the Development Committee, and only a couple of things that I noted was there was the abandoned property discussion, which was the sort of an in-depth in the Pro Champs program. The Main Street grant program, so far that's going well. The facade grant is going good. Beauty Box is going to be doing something in the spring, I understand. And the bowling alley, the plans are still to rehab the first floor, and they may add a second floor later. There was a discussion about the streetlights in Lisbon, in the Falls, in Lisbon? In the village, right. When I came out of the Conservation Commission meeting, all of the lights were working. Nothing was blinking, nothing was flashing. Whether that's true still or not, I haven't been by there at night, but
Like progress.
they were doing well. They were
Did you
doing
take
well.
a picture?
I didn't. No, I was driving. The Masonic Lodge, there was a program started, help me out, 2 years ago maybe, for the entrepreneurship program at the Masonic Lodge. It's been determined that sort of has washed out. It didn't sort of come to fruition. So discussion with the leaders at the lodge, they decided to end that program. And the idea now is to work towards a artisan type markets and find places to rent so people can show their artistic side, I guess. There was a short discussion about the Rumbo, and it involved DEP and some permits and the traffic situation with the crossing the road and issues like that. So that's what I got out of that. Next.
Next is Conservation Commission.
Conservation Commission. I attended the Conservation Commission meeting, and there was discussion regarding let me see, where am I? The ordinance, they want to look at the, reestablish the ordinance, or double check the ordinance and make sure the ordinance is good for what they are looking at, they want to do. They were talked about Moxie maybe being Woodstock in Lisbon this year. I don't know if anybody else has heard that. Hope I'm not letting the cat out of the bag. But there was a discussion about that. So there wasn't much more than that I got out of it. So That's it for that. Oh, there was, I'm sorry. I got my notes now. Let me see. There was a lot of discussion about trying to eradicate the brown-tailed moth, or at least control that in town. There's some spots in town that are pretty active with brown-tailed moth. So they're trying to put together a forestry plan to deal with the brown-tailed moth issue, which to some people is a really big issue. And that's it.
Recreation Committee,
Has not been a meeting since our last meeting.
County Budget Committee,
County Budget Committee.
Nothing new to report.
I attended the County Budget Committee meeting. And this is what happened at the Budget Committee meeting.
was it, may I clarify, Mr. Chair, was it a county commissioners meeting or a county budget committee meeting? I think it was a
Probably a
commissioners meeting.
commissioners meeting.
I just wanted to make sure because I don't think they've started the budget meetings just yet.
Yeah, probably not.
But there is a meeting tomorrow of the county commissioners.
Tomorrow at 5.
It might be a budget
county
meeting. I
commissioners,
didn't
I
look at
don't
the
know.
agenda.
Okay. Well,
But they always
I guess
have,
I attended the commissioners meeting. If you want to hear anything about that, I'll tell you. If not, then we'll move on.
did they talk about the budget?
Well, everything's always about the budget, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I gleaned from this meeting anyways. Garrett Mason, our Lisbonite, was nominated for vice chair, and he declined. There was a discussion about the Maine County Commissioner Association risk pool, and I had a question. I don't remember if I asked them or I asked somebody else. I don't know if we can join that. Is that something that we can look into joining? The Maine County Commissioners Association risk pool. Might be worth seeing if we can save some money there. I don't know if we can or not. They also discussed AVCOG meetings. I don't know if we represent anybody at AVCOG meetings.
So someone was supposed to come today at 10:30 from AVCOG, and they didn't show up, but they've asked me to be on their executive board and wanted to talk to me about it. So
Okay.
that is something that they reached out about, but
I think that's something that we should at least try to get.
we are on the policy and tech committee for when they do road projects, and so Randy or myself or the assistant town manager will attend those, but the larger executive committee, they did ask if I wanted to go to those. And I'm
Well, good.
looking forward to it.
As far as the budget, there's some budget stuff. They're waiting for reports from the assessors for the towns to give them their assessment, I guess, so they can figure out how much they owe.
And spend.
Yeah, how much they can spend. They're due in February, so I don't know where we are with that either. There continues to be a number of problems with the property on Center Street. I believe that was the old Evergreen Subaru place for the sheriff's department. They had a pipe burst, caused all the sprinklers to go off. There was a problem with one of the heat units up on the roof. They're trying to figure out what to do with that. I got the sense that I don't know whether this Evergreen Subaru thing's going to fly, but anyways, there's a lot of issues with it, and they're just dumping money into it one after another. Right now, they just use it for storage.
Storage.
They voted to spend up to $1,000 to install a temperature monitoring system in it to tell them that your pipes are going to freeze. They're actually looking now at a ARPA consultant for ARPA funds and they're considering Barry Dunn, and they'll pay to review projects, new projects, monitor recipients of the money and the expenses, et cetera. And what I got from this was the cost to do this is $1.2 million. And I wanted to ask the board, because I wasn't here, or anybody in the audience, did we request any county ARPA funds?
I don't.
That predates me, but you've done it very differently than we did in New Jersey, so I would have to look into how that's
I don't know
been
if we,
handled, but I think different counties handled it differently up here.
Yeah, we were, Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
We were hoping to, after the elections, that we'd actually have a representative that we could actually have come to our meetings and actually have a one-on-one with our council. And I'm not sure if we actually had that connection yet or have a confirmed date.
I'll check with Ryan because I haven't had any discussions with the county.
Of what?
Well, Garrett, Commissioner Mason had actually mentioned that he'd be more than happy to come in and meet with us since he represents our community. And was waiting to actually see if he got voted in. He has now been voted in as official, so I would love to actually have him come in. So as a council, we could actually have a back and forth of what our hopes and goals are for the council. And I think those questions you were just asking, Harry, would be perfect questions to ask because they did receive a large amount. It was over $20 million, I believe, in ARPA funds. But I thought quite a bit that had already been expended. So I'd be curious to see what their expectations are and what his goals are and how they would better serve our community since he does represent us as Lisbon on the commission, along with other communities, I believe. It's not just Lisbon, but...
Yeah, I can't speak to it as an authority. I just know each county handled it differently up here.
Yeah, and to finish my thought on that, I did speak with Garrett at the meeting and ask him to come and meet the board. And I'm going to set that up for February.
That's awesome.
So he's going to make some time for us and come to our meeting, so we're prepared to ask him some questions.
Are you thinking of that in a workshop or actually in a meeting setting?
What's that?
What's your thoughts on that, like a workshop or actually a meeting?
I think a workshop would probably be a little more productive.
I would agree.
They also discussed purchasing 3 Tahoes and 1 Tahoe SSV Cruiser from Quirk Auto for $182,385 plus if you take away the trade-ins, $137,963, and they actually finance their vehicles. They don't buy them outright. And I also believe the LDC rep is gone, or the chair is gone, but I did recommend to her that they invite Representative Mason and Timberlake to come in and see if the state can help with some of the LDC issues. That's all I got. Next.
Library.
Did you get all that?
I hope so. Library Governing Board is next.
Hello. I just want to say a few things. We just presented Diane with her 35-year appreciation certificate. And I just want to talk a little bit about some of the things that Diane is really good at that are going on right now. And based on the fact that we've had a very challenging situation getting people actually into the library, we are now at a point where people are coming in more. However, we want to make sure that they continue to use library services. So right now, we are working on efforts to bring people in by giving them the ability to have meetings in the library when there's small groups, so they can come in and meet if they want to have a knitting circle or if they want a book club. So to get them into the library, especially nowadays when there are so many people that are relying on electronic books. And so we want to bring them into the library and have them see what other kind of services are available. In addition, there are some changes that affect how Diane purchases, and one of them is that people are using streaming services more. So the DVD collection that we have is not as usable as it used to be. So Diane's looking at different ways to give people what they need and potentially changing how some of the funds are spent. So that is my update from the library.
And next is the Water Commission.
The water commissioners, or the water department, continues to test for PFOs, and is part of a program this year to test twice for PFOs and lithium. There's a lot more details in that, and I don't know much more than that, but that's what we're doing. The rate case that I mentioned is now top of mind for them. The hearing for that rate case is, the local hearing is set for their next meeting. And their next meeting is at 5 p.m. At the town office on February 8th, and the hearing follows at 6 p.m. They're making the necessary change, right now they're making the necessary submissions to the PUC for their rate case, and they're doing this through Maine Rural Water. And they should have a draft that says today. So they are proceeding with that, and if any of you are interested, the hearing is on February 8th.
The next committee report is from the Finance Committee.
I have nothing from the Finance Committee. We're still looking for a member. Do we have enough for a quorum yet? I don't.
I think you have enough for a quorum.
Okay.
We still have an ad on the sign up front.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Okay, that's it for committee reports. Next, appointments, Order 2023-15.
Town manager's report.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, your report.
Not a ton. We're going to be breaking into our internal work groups for budget next week and the week after, so that's why I wanted to ask the council. We've been kicking back and forth the idea of doing a Saturday workshop in March, so I just wanted to float 2 dates to the council to see if there's availability. Historically, we've done Tuesday night workshops before the meeting. We were thinking of doing the expense budget as a Saturday workshop. Hours to be determined, but the dates I was going to propose was March 18th or the 25th. And if you could all just get back to me individually if that works for you or if it doesn't work for you, if you want to continue with the Tuesday night sessions. But I think it's a good opportunity to get us and the Finance Committee in one room and kind of just plow through that expense budget instead of breaking it up into multiple weeks. Over
What
2
time?
months.
What time of day are you looking at?
This is a much smaller budget than I'm used to doing, so I would say we could get it done like 9 to 2, 10 to 2, with a lunch break.
9 to 2?
Yeah, like 9 to 2. But like I said, it depends on all your availabilities, and I just wanted to float some dates and get some feedback if that's a good idea or if you want to stick with the old schedule.
Now, if I may, Chair, would you have department heads, everybody there traditionally as we'd go? So we would do just a traditional through the budget, just basically trying to just hammer it out one session and try to make it happen. You can have a budget that's so easy. We'll go just kind of.
Well, it's not that it's easy. It's just there's less people to present to you than I'm.
No, just teasing. Definitely, it's nice to have a budget in good times versus the idea of hard economic times for sure. But it's an interesting theory. I mean, I'm all for it to give it a try. Just if everybody can get together, we get everybody on one Saturday. I mean, it's a different philosophy than what we've done in the past, but that's why we have new people and they have different ideas. So
yeah, I mean, hey,
it's worth a shot.
Worth a shot.
And we'd have a good lunch too, right in between.
Everybody wants to do a council meeting on Saturday. That's what I.
I can cook breakfast sandwiches for us.
I especially look forward to the lunch.
I've seen it.
We'll
Pigs in a
send you
blanket.
something via Goldbelly or something like that. You can overnight him a lobster roll or something. I don't know. Hopefully he won't get sick.
Punishment.
Next item.
Now we have appointments. Order 2023-15 is to reappoint Chris Houston to the Lisbon Development Committee. We also have a second one that doesn't appear on the online version of the agenda, but we also have 2023-15A, which is to appoint Mr. Houston to the Conservation Commission. And we'll do those in two separate votes.
I make a motion for the LDC, if that's the first one,
Mhm.
to approve.
I'll second.
Has he indicated that he wants to serve still?
Yes, he has, and
Sitting
he's
in the
here
room,
this
so
evening.
He's here.
I would think that it, some interest.
That's a good sign. Are you interested?
Oh, well, I can't see him, so I don't know.
That's because you're in Hawaii, Don. And not here.
Okay, Harry. Mr. Chair.
Ready for a vote?
Councillor Kane,
Yes.
Councillor Fellows,
Yes.
Councillor Larichelle,
Yes.
Councillor Lunt,
Yes.
Councillor Keller,
Yes.
Councillor Robichaud,
Yes.
Councillor Moore.
Aye.
7 yeas, 0 nays, vote 7-0.
I'd make a motion for the Conservation Committee.
I'll second.
Ready for a vote?
If there's no discussion, okay. Councillor Keller,
Yes.
Councillor Larichelle,
Yes.
Councillor Lunt,
Yes.
Councillor Kane,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Aye.
Councillor Fellows,
Yes.
Councillor Robichaud.
Yes.
7 yeas, 0 nays, vote 7-0, approved.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
And the last appointment is, will be vote 2023-16 to appoint Alan Ward to the Water Commission.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Being none. Ready for a vote?
Councillor Robichaud,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Aye.
Councillor Lunt,
Yes.
Councillor Larichelle,
Yes.
Councillor Keller,
Yes.
Councillor Fellows,
Yes.
Councillor Kane.
Yes.
7 yeas, 0 nays, vote 7-0. All right.
Next item.
And the next item is council communications.
Anybody on the council have anything they want to communicate?
I'm feeling much better.
Glad to
We are
have Ray
glad to hear
back.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Appreciate
Comfortable sitting
everybody
next to him,
excusing
but-
me from the last meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
He's got a nice mask on.
A nice mask on.
Look a lot better with it on. Just at our last meeting, I did ask counselors for their goals and objectives. If you want to hand them in to the teacher now.
We're gonna do them
Well,
verbally, or we actually
we
gonna
don't
actually
know.
just do them?
I would ask that you give me 3 or 4 goals or objectives that you want to look forward to doing this year, and we'll compile them and maybe at our next meeting. If you can get those to me in email, that'd be great.
Okay.
And I can compile them, and then we'll go over them at our next meeting. But it's important to get those established right off the bat so we can get to work.
Perfect.
So when do you want those?
Yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
Right now.
Sounded like yesterday.
ASAP. ASAP. As soon as you can,
Mr. Chair, would you like me to add it to the agenda for the next meeting?
please.
Okay.
If there's nothing else, next item.
Audience participation and response for new items. At this time, those in the audience who wish to speak can approach the lectern to address items or issues that are not on the agenda. Please use the microphone and state your name for the record.
Anybody in the audience? Chris, Norm? Nothing? Okay. Doesn't look like there's any. Next item?
Order 2023-17 to adjourn.
Make the motion.
So move.
Second the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Say,
Aye.
Okay.
say aye.
Counselor Kane,
Aye.
Counselor Fellows,
Aye. Aye.
No.
No.
Counselor Fellows, Counselor Keller,
Aye.
Counselor LaRochelle,
Aye.
Counselor Lunt,
Yes.
Counselor Moore,
Aye.
Counselor Robichaud.
Aye.
We have 6 yeas and 1 nay. Order pass, vote 6-1.
Did you say the 18th or 25th?
Oh.
We're live.
What
Just-
time is it over there, Dawn?
We're live. We're still live.
Here doing the
We're still live.